We in Germany, we want to invite people to come to us legally. Migration is not a negative topic. We need people to come to our country, be it from Nigeria, be it from other countries. So we want to invite them to work in Germany, to live in Germany, and to also to contribute to our economic development.
Hi everyone, welcome to Diplomatic Corner. My name is Chiamaka Kafo and this is Diplomatic Corner with Premium Times. Here in Diplomatic Corner we speak to diplomatic corps members in Nigeria who are representing different countries here in Nigeria, as well as diplomats who are visiting Nigeria for different reasons. Today we have the German Embassy to speak with the German Ambassador to Nigeria, Ernest Günther, who will be speaking to us about Germany-Nigeria bilateral relations, issues of migration, education, as well as other development areas Germany and Nigeria are partnering in, as well as her time here in Nigeria. She's been here for a little over 2 years now, and she is happy to chat with us and let us know what exactly Germany and Nigeria has been doing over the 2 years she's been here. Hi, Ms. Günther. Thank you
Hello.
for speaking to us today. It's really sunny in Abuja, and I'm glad you found the time to speak to us at this hour of the day, which is really, really hot. But I'll get into the details of this interview, and I'd like to start by asking one key issue that has been on the lips of both Nigerians and Germans recently, which will be the issue of migration. During the German Chancellor's last visit here, there were questions about 14,000 Nigerians who are due to be deported back to Nigeria, and there were conversations about repatriating them back to Nigeria. And the question there is, what exactly is the bilateral conversation around this issue? Because before now, German news had it that Nigeria, amongst other countries, were not ready to have the conversation about repatriating these people back to their country. And there were also human rights concerns about the conditions these people will face if they return to their country. So please let us in on the bilateral conversations happening here.
Yes, thank you very much for speaking to me, and I think you have started with a very important question, that of migration, and indeed it has been a subject matter during Chancellor Scholz's visit to Nigeria. He talked to President Tinubu about it, and President agreed and said, of course, those who are illegally in Germany will be coming back and will be welcome here. These are Nigerians, these are our compatriots. They can come back, contribute to the development of the country. So there is no dissent about the fact as such. And also in the past, and we have a very good cooperation on that issue, in the past, there are rules and regulations about this. It doesn't happen like that, that 12,000 people are just brought back like that. So we have a very good cooperation with the Immigration Service, with Ministry of Interior. So all that is regulated. But I must say, this is a minority. There are so many, there are over 80,000 Nigerians living in Germany, working there with their families happily, sending money back, also contributing to the welfare of their families here. So I wouldn't only see that as a negative topic. And most recently also, and that is known, and it was also part of the discussion of the Chancellor, we in Germany, we want to invite people to come to us legally. Migration is not a negative topic. We need people to come to our country, be it from Nigeria, be it from other countries. So we want to invite them to work in Germany, to live in Germany, and to also to contribute to our economic development. And also for that, there are regulations, and we are already running 7 centers here in Nigeria that prepare Nigerians who want to legally move to Germany, prepare them on the legal conditions, on the academic issues that might be there, on prepare them with skills to go and work there. So I think it's a two-way story, and we have a very good relationship on that issue.
So you just went straight into my next question, which would be the new migration policy of Germany, which is inviting migrants, skilled workers into Germany. And the question there is, now you've established centers in Nigeria to help people with criteria, I guess, and criteria on how to get into Germany. And the big issue for many Nigerians is people invest money into, the processes, the migration process, and sometimes they don't get past, the measures put in place by various countries to get into there, and then there's a case of, I've spent so much money and nothing came out of it. Would these centers be explicitly helping Nigerians with, point-to-point details on how to make it through the processes, or would it be, a vague process? I don't know what the process looks like, so the question I guess there is, can you walk us through briefly what this process looks like?
Well, at the moment, we are still in the process of developing these centers, and they work closely together with the labor institutions here in Nigeria. So they are run together, and yes, that is the plan, that you can go there for information. You can maybe present your credentials, your academic credentials, or your skills, whatever, and then that you will get the advice on how to proceed in what is necessary in each step of the process. So that is actually the aim of those centers, because, as you said, we don't want people to come to be disillusioned and then, lost in the process, having spent money. But I also think that the preparation and those centers, there will be no money involved. It's about information, it's about guidance, it's about helping these people. It's not about making money. We are not smugglers. You spend money if you go an illegal way to Germany, and then you find out that maybe this is not the right way to start here. But if you go through the legal process, I think there will be very many success stories beyond. The 4,000 students, for instance, we have 4,000 Nigerian students in Germany. So there's also a process for them. Sometimes, I know, and we are all aware, and we are working on it, the visa procedures are still too long, but also there are processes underway to have more digitalization of the process, to have outsource some of the decision making, because we are just overwhelmed, I must say, by the huge interest of young Nigerians to go and study or work in Germany. So this goes hand in hand. And as I said, we are open to the process, we are working on it, and we want to be supportive.
I'll quickly ask one important question to a lot of us Nigerians. What would be the monetary implication for skilled workers who want to move? And what skilled workers, what group are you looking at? What sector is most important to the German economy? Of course, we know that in a couple of years, the bulk of a larger number of Germany's population will be retired and aged. So what exactly is Germany looking for?
I think there are basically no limitation what kind of professions would be welcome. I think skilled workers and even semi-skilled workers are needed everywhere. But of course, you're right. Most importantly, people are needed in the health sector, in the care industry for the elderly people, in any other service industry, in hospitality. So I think these are the major sectors, but also, of course, in industry, heavy metal production, basically everywhere, but I would say health, care, and services are at the moment the areas where people are needed the most.
GISET is Germany's development partner in Africa, agency in Africa, and a lot of projects has been done within Africa and also Nigeria as well. Can you speak to us with a little detail around the key areas of development project that GISET is focused on in Nigeria?
Yes, you're right. GISET is our implementation agency for our development cooperation, not only in Africa, worldwide. And that's why it's so well known, because GISET stands basically for German support, German cooperation, German projects. Here in Nigeria, we have been working with GISET for a very long time, and I think the portfolio is a very big one, very broad one. But basically what we can say, we want to contribute to economic development is one area, but this is a very broad subject. But within that, we always look at developing the youth, skills development, supporting women and other minority groups, let's put it like this. And so all these projects are geared towards, like, let's say, some sub-themes. Another area is, of course, agriculture, food security, also skills development in agriculture, microfinancing for small firms and companies. In the youth sector, also we support a lot of startups, young tech firms. Wherever the youth wants to develop their skills, where they want to start businesses, in whichever sector, we try to be there. We cannot be all over the country. We cannot be in all 36 states. So this is one area, and also another one that is very important for us in our overall cooperation, but also in our development cooperation, is climate change and energy subjects. So wherever we can support the development of renewable energy, wherever we can support the replacement, let's say, of generators by solar, equipment. Also the development of that industry for young people to start in the renewable energy sector. So this is very important for us also to be supportive in this area.
Interesting. So you spoke about economy and a lot of things that GISET is doing, and of course it's been here over the years. What would you look at and say this is perhaps one of the greatest results or feedback we've gotten from our various interventions in Nigeria? What is that project or that investment you've done that when you look at, you're very proud of GISET's presence here in Nigeria?
I think we can always be proud of them in every sector. But as I said, I think our energy support program is a very big one, and it's well known. And I think also the youth skills development program is one that has lots of beneficiaries, and that is well known. So I think these are the, what would you call it, the main areas of intervention that probably has the most popularity or it's best known.
Would you say you've got or you're getting value for money invested?
Absolutely, because we agree. We don't develop these projects on our own, It's not. We always have negotiations and discussions with the government, and also, especially also with the new government, we see that the development of the economy and the creation of jobs, the support for youth, education and skills development is key for the next years to come, because of the demographic factor that we are all aware of. So we support the government in what the government sees at their own goals. So it's not our own ideas in a way. So yeah, that's where it comes from.
Yeah, a little light question there. You've been here in Nigeria for a little over 2 years. What was your perception of the country before you came in here to work as ambassador? You've been living here for 2 years plus. What was your perception before coming here, and how do you feel now?
I have been to Nigeria before in 2016, 17, 18, multiple times, because at the time I was Commissioner for Humanitarian Assistance in Germany. and later I was Commissioner for Migration and Refugees. So in that capacity, I had visited 2016, I was in Maiduguri. Can you imagine? This was at the height of the Boko Haram, catastrophe. And later I've been to Abuja negotiating with government on migration issues and other things. So I knew what I was doing, and I knew it's a vibrant country, and I was also so intrigued because all of the topics that I had dealt with before in Germany, like humanitarian, stabilization, migration, and all that. This is all, we find it all in Nigeria, you know. So I thought this is where I want to come to this country because this is where I have expertise. This is where I think I can make a good contribution to our foreign policy. Before, in between that, I was ambassador to Nigeria, to Kenya. But after Kenya, I thought, oh, I want to stay in Africa because I really love Africa. So I thought, what's my next station in Africa? And that's when I said it has to be Nigeria because that's where I think I will be able to make a good contribution. That's where I will love the people, like to live. So I wouldn't say that my picture of Nigeria has changed too much in the time that I've been living and working here, but it has changed quite a bit in the 6 years in between, because now when I go back with our minister last year, oh, it's already 2 years ago, with our minister, we went to Maiduguri and we could see what our stabilization efforts had achieved, how the people moved back to this village in Garanam that had been rebuilt. Stabilization, there was health, there's security, there's a school. The people come back, they start their livelihoods again. So there was a dramatic change, and I think I'm very proud of our contribution to the stabilization in the Northeast, and there you can see a tremendous achievement and tremendous changes to the better, I must say.
Can you speak to me about personal, non-diplomatic interactions you've had with Nigeria since you've been staying here? Do you have Nigerian food?
Of course, whenever I go out, we have lots of Nigerian foods. We invited by Nigerian counterparts. Mostly Nigerian food is served, I must say. So we get a lot of that, and I think you are never non-diplomatic. In some way, you're always seen as the ambassador, which doesn't mean that you cannot have friends or personal relationships. But in a way, it's always a little bit like that. But I have a lot of interaction with Nigerians and with friends, and so I feel at home. You know, it's not like my diplomatic life and the other life. So it's a mixture, but it's always there, and I like it a lot to be here. Thank you.
Let's speak about you and Nigerian culture more. And I'm going to talk about the food again. What Nigerian food have you enjoyed the most? How many have you tried?
What I really like and what I share is Nigerians' love for fish. You know, when you hardly ever meet a Nigerian who doesn't like fish. Most people, even, it's their favorite food. So you get a lot of fish. Yeah, but even here, you go to the Mogadishu market, to the big fish, where the fish is grilled.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
No.
Oh, you must. That's fantastic, you know. This is a highlight of Abuja.
Okay.
So, and also in the little bush bars, you always get fresh grilled fish. So I must say, fish is...
Have you been to bush bars before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Outside the Mogadishu?
Yeah, the little ones here in the area. But, and also I like the spiciness, you know, the hotness of the food, you know.
Wow.
You know, Nigerians like it. I don't like it very, very, very hot, but also sometimes now when I'm back in Germany or when I do my own cooking, I always like, I need a little bit more spice and we need a bit more chili in here. I think it doesn't taste like anything. So what I'm saying is I already got used to the spicy food, and I really like it, yeah.
And the music? What do you think about Nigerian music?
I don't have too much exposure to Nigerian music, I must say, but I know it's very famous and it's played all over the world, and it's one of the, I don't know, trademarks of Nigeria internationally. I think I should get more involved with the music. I'm sorry, I haven't done that yet.
Sorry. And Nigerian clothing. I mean, I think one of the things outside of music and our food, one thing that helps you identify Nigerian is the kind of clothing we put on. I'm wearing this Ankara piece, and it's typical to Nigerian or an African person. So which of them, do you have any wardrobe, or have you admired any and wish to get them?
No, actually, I have lots of dresses made already here, because the clothes that we normally wear, they are just not suitable for this kind of temperature and climate, you know. I mean, there's a reason why you wear those loose cotton dresses, you know, that, and also the colorfulness, you know. We always, in our business clothes, we look like, you know, boring gray people, you know, and then you see all these colorful people and you want to be like them, you know. So I have a lady who makes lots of dresses for me. I'm a regular at Abuja market to buy fabric. So even my sister and my cousin and my daughters, whenever I go home, I supply everybody with dresses. Maybe not very up, something like this, you know, was made here for me, because I wanted something colorful, but I wanted like a mix between Nigerian, European, but a little bit more colorful, something that I would probably not do in Germany, but here, yeah, I enjoy that. And so the lady always comes and she says like, I have some new fabrics for you, or do you like this? And shall we do this? And she made a wonderful dress for me when I went home last year for a big birthday party with lots of friends in Germany. She made a wonderful traditional Nigerian dress for me, and everybody found that really fantastic. Yeah, it's very nice. I should send you a picture of that one.
Since the Russia invasion of Ukraine, there's been the whole situation with gas in Europe, and Germany has looked to Nigeria for gas. And at the 10th Nigeria-German Business Forum last year, there were two MOUs that were signed in that meeting, one for exportation of gas from Nigeria to Germany, and one for the $500 million investment in renewables here in Nigeria. That seemed like a quid pro quo arrangement there. So I get some gas and you get some renewable investment. Is that a fair representation of what's going on between Nigeria and Germany, or is that a misrepresentation?
It's very much correct that many German businesses are interested in getting engaged in Nigeria, in particular, of course, in the renewable energy sector, because this is the way to go. This is where we want to support Nigeria in the implementation of the energy transition plan, and part of that is also to help create capacities or awareness capacities for hydrogen production. So I don't think we will import gas from Nigeria to Germany, but how can we use the gas? How can we turn it maybe into hydrogen? How can it be into LNG or something like this? So I think this is a sector where we're very interested in working with Nigeria, because I think it's the way to go into the renewables, into hydrogen, into other greener usage of the existing sources of energy. So this is not the trade-off in that sense. So it's a natural instinct of the German economy, of the private industry, to come and invest in these areas.
Interesting. Education, compared to your development counterpart or your Western counterpart, I beg your pardon, the US, the UK, Canada, there are not a lot of Nigerian students in Germany. Some say there's a language barrier, and some say racism, some say it's not so comfortable. I mean, 1,001 reasons people have given why they do not make Canada Germany one of the top destinations. But mostly you hear of the language barrier. Can you speak to me about what you have observed, what you've heard, why people, Nigerians especially, and not trooping into Germany like they are doing to Canada, to US, to UK. Of course, this is good investment and good business for Germany because this brings in more money to the economy and all. But also, you know, there's diversification in terms of cultural representation in your country. So what are you hearing? Why are Nigerians not going to Germany as much as they're doing your other counterparts? And what is Germany doing to see that there's more students coming in?
We don't compare ourselves, of course, with the UK or Canada because, as you said, we are completely different, let's say, target country because of the language barrier, which not necessarily applies to the studies themselves, because many go to Germany and study courses in English, you know, that are also offered there. But also in your everyday life, of course, you want to be comfortable and you want to have a knowledge of the language of your host country. Yeah. So yes, the language barrier is there. What I see is that the language courses at the Goethe Institute in Lagos, but also online, they are very well booked. You know, they can hardly meet the demand for German language courses. This is one thing. They also have, I think, even extended their exams that they can be done in Abuja, even though the institute is in Lagos, because there are also the online courses, and there are also other courses offered by private language schools. There are many offering German courses. So I think that demand is very high and we cannot even meet it. Students, we have 4,000, I said, 4,000 Nigerian students in Germany, which I think is quite a good number. But of course we are looking for more and we would like to have more. So we have to work on two sides. We have to work on the provision of German language courses, and we have to make that easier, more easily accessible. And also, as I said earlier, the provision of visa services for those students interested to go to Germany also needs to be accelerated, needs to be made easier, and that's what we are working on. As I said, we have to do more digitalization, maybe a bit more outsourcing. So we know that this is also something that slows down the process a little bit at the moment, but we are quite aware and we are working on it. And there are many scholarships offered from Germany, and many Nigerian students, especially postgraduate master students, go to Germany, and we are very happy because those are some of the brightest young people in Nigeria who go to Germany to do master studies or PhD even, and work in our research institutions. So actually we are quite happy, and we know we cannot compare to English-speaking countries, of course.
Speak to me about trade relations. The last time you spoke about the trade figures between Nigeria and Germany. It's about 3 billion euros annually, and the last visits from the Chancellor to Nigeria focused more on how to improve these trade figures. Nigeria is Germany's second largest trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa.
Sure. And
the figures are perhaps more in favor of Germany. Germany has the higher figures compared to Nigeria. Is there going to be a point where, you know, these figures are balanced or at least close to each other? And again, why are you looking to improve trade? Is number 2 not good enough?
Germany is an export country. Germany relies very heavily on its exports. So the more trading partners we can have in the world, the better for us. So this is, you know, our products are well known worldwide. So we want to, you know, export where we can. But also because our products are so well known, we also try to work together with other countries and not only export, but also have to have production facilities in our partner countries. For instance, one example, you know Nivea. Yeah. Nivea is a German product. Nobody knows that. It's a German company called Bayersdorf. They produce all Nivea, exclusively all Nivea products, German. They have a production site in Lagos, state of the art. You know, there could be the same thing in Germany, state of the art production site where they produce all these Nivea products for Nigeria. These machines run almost 24/7 because they can hardly meet the demand. They have already planned a second production site to expand their production to make use of the regional markets, you know. So it's not that we only export to other countries, we also, and then of course, jobs are created in those production sites. So, and it's also more sensible. Why should we ship those products from Germany to Nigeria if we can produce them here? And this is something we are looking at, you know. I think there is still room for improvement when it comes to investment-friendly climate, to legislative environment. The financial sector is also at the moment a little bit in one factor that might not necessarily invite someone to invest. But these are all things that can be overcome, that we work on together, and the government is quite aware of that. So, but I think the trend is clearly also to come and produce here and to create jobs and skills.
On the flip side, for Nigerians who want to do business in Germany, how favorable would you say the business climate in Germany is for Nigerians?
It's not different. It's not different for people from other countries. I mean, everybody can decide for themselves how much they like the business climate in Germany, but I think it's very friendly, and there are very many foreign companies operating in Germany, but it's not different for a Nigerian from a, I don't know, a Canadian or so.
Interesting. Germany's support for Israel, doesn't this appear to be double standards when you compare it to Russia's war on Ukraine? Of course, Israel did not start the current escalation, but Israel is the bigger guy, and from the figures we've seen that over 26,000 people have died in Gaza as a result of Israel's bombardment. I'm not a military personnel, but from where we stand, we see that Israel has an upper hand compared to the Hamas guys in terms of machineries and equipment they use in defending their country, as Netanyahu likes to put it. So, question again is, doesn't it appear to be double standards on the side of Germany? At one point, you're condemning Russia for what it's doing in Ukraine, and on the other hand, you are in support of Israel's bombardment in Gaza.
I wouldn't say that I would not say that you can compare the two cases. Russia has started a war of aggression against a sovereign state, which is completely unacceptable. It was completely unprovoked. There can be no acceptance and no understanding for Russia terrorizing its neighboring country with a war, killing people there. This is against all international standards, and we have to reject that. And we support Ukraine in its defense against this war of aggression. In Gaza, we have to accept the fact that Israel was attacked, also unprovoked, very brutally. People and children were killed who were just peacefully in their houses or celebrating or whatnot. This is also completely unacceptable, and we have to accept and support Israel's right to defend itself against this aggression and this terror. Of course, we support the fight against terrorism all over the world. Terrorism is unacceptable, and Israel has the right to defend itself against this terror.
Unfortunately, in defending itself against the terror of Hamas, innocent women and children of Palestinian origin are killed every day in Gaza. How would you respond to this?
As I said, Israel has the right to defend itself against terrorism, and unfortunately, every military confrontation risks to have loss of civilian life, of innocent people, of course, and each country is held by international law to try to prevent civilian loss in any military confrontation. So we are not saying that Israel is targeting the civilians to kill them. They are defending themselves. And unfortunately, yes, this causes the loss of civilian life, which of course we urge Israel, and everybody does that, to make sure and try to keep that loss as limited as possible in such a war.
Now that the ICJ has ruled and asked that Israel, as a matter of urgency, prevents further deaths and ruin in Gaza, will Germany, as a friend and ally of Israel, put pressure and continue to speak with Israel to see that it respects the ruling of the court? Because as soon as the court made the ruling, the Prime Minister of Israel came out to say Israel will continue to defend itself. We cannot explicitly say that he means that they will continue the killing and, bombardment, I beg your pardon. But of course, bombardment continued even after the ruling of the ICJ, and we see that people continue to die. So what role will Germany play as a friend and ally of Israel to make sure that it respects the ruling of the International Court of Justice?
I think we have raised, and we will continue to raise, this question with our Israeli partners at any occasion. There is a very intensive contacts and German politicians moving back and forth between both Israel, other Arab countries in the region, trying to find solutions to the conflict. And in each conversation, also with the Israeli side, we repeat, of course, also our respect for international humanitarian law, and that we of course urge our partners to also respect international humanitarian law and avoid the killing of civilians. It's not that we are not telling them that this is also our position.
So last question on that Gaza issue would be, what is Germany's clear position? Is this a reasonable action to take? It's still an allegation and not been fully established that this happened. And even when it is fully established, would it be fair for the actions of a few people to be a criteria to discredit an entire organization that has worked over the years to keep people in good shape and provide the needs of people in this environment?
As I said, it's a very unfortunate incident, but as I said, we will continue to support these people. We will work with other organizations. We have increased our support, for instance, for ICRC, the International Red Cross, by 7 million, our reaction and our future cooperation with UNRWA will certainly depend on the investigations, but we are also in regular contact and discussions about this with our partners, because Germany doesn't act on its own. So we will see what are we doing within the EU, what is the EU doing, what can we do collectively. If we decide to go this way, then we will not do it on our own. We are always in touch with our partners. Germany and the US have been the biggest donors of UNRWA, so we will not neglect the need of the people there, but we will try to find solutions and try how we can collectively deal with this situation.
So are you saying for now Germany would not provide funds to UNRWA but to other organizations that can still provide or attend to the needs of people in Gaza?
Yes.
Not UNRWA, but any other organization?
Not any, but our trusted partners. Yeah.
Coming down to security in Nigeria and Abuja recently, it's been worrisome, the state of security here. And I would quickly like to ask you, are you concerned about your own security here in Abuja?
That I'm scared about my own security?
Yeah, are you concerned about your own security here in Abuja? Given the recent happenings, the kidnapping, the burglary, the robbery and all that.
I'm personally not concerned about my security in Abuja. But of course, we have seen a shift of insecurity that maybe in the past we thought is only in the northeast or happens in the northwest or maybe somewhere in the south. It's a major problem in many, many parts of the country. And of course we have seen incidents also now closer to Abuja, on the outskirts of Abuja. And of course that is of concern, but I would not say that I'm personally targeted or that foreigners per se are at risk. It's a general situation that probably speaks of economic problems of people, maybe other issues or grievances they have with each other that unfortunately are resolved through, as you said, force or abductions or killings. So I think it's more a general phenomenon rather that I would take that personally, or no, I don't know. I would not say I feel not safe in Abuja, but yeah.
Well, it's not a question of being targeted, but the nature of these things is as you never know who the next person might be. And so it's within that context that I ask if you are concerned about your own security here, or is the residents secure enough that there won't be any form of infiltration? That's the question I'm asking there.
Yes, I'm safe.
Great.
I'm very safe.
But
there are many other, there are so many other cities in the world where you would not walk in the street in the middle of the night, or where you don't go to certain areas at certain, times of the day. So I'm not. This is not Abuja is a very dangerous or criminal city. No, it's not. It's safe. You can move around. Yeah. But even in Berlin, I have areas where they like, don't go there. Especially not at night, or don't walk, or don't do this. Yeah. So unfortunately it's a phenomenon of big cities, and Abuja is growing and is becoming, a big city, a million city. Yeah. So yeah, these are unfortunately phenomenon that we see all over the world.
On that backdrop, what kind of security partnership does Germany and Nigeria have? Insurgency, banditry and other situations. You spoke about the times you've come to visit Borno, when you were with Commissioner for Humanitarian, you visited Borno, and of course that was as a result of the Boko Haram insurgency, and an entire community was cleaned out, but now they're back, thankfully. So speak to me broadly, streamlined, however you wish, about the security relationship between Germany and Nigeria?
Because also the security situation the improvement of the security situation is a priority of the government. It has become a priority of our cooperation. So for the last, I would say it's now 3 years, we have been in addition to our stabilization engagement, what we are doing northeast, northwest, we have been very much engaged in the police reform project, because after the incidences, the NSARS protests and all that, even the government realized there's something needs to be done to put our police forces into a better position to have you need trustworthy institutions. You need capable institutions. The population has to, as I said, trust in its police, in its institutions. So police reform is very important. So we have been very engaged, put a lot of money into that one through UNDP. And now with the new administration, we have already signed a new MOU with the National Security Advisor, who now also explained that the whole security sector reform is is a bigger and very important project, and the police, of course, definitely is part of that. So we are going with the Nigerian institutions in that direction. We will continue our support, and beyond that, we also have in the military area we have a technical advisory group that works on 5 different projects currently supporting various military installations, institutions, in infrastructure, in training, in development, to also empower the army and the military forces to do their job. So yeah, there's quite a heavyweight engagement in the security sector for us, and we think it's important to do that.
Thank you. To end this would be to ask you if you have any words for the Nigerian people who will be watching this interview and reading the interview.
Well, what can I say? As I said, Nigeria and Germany are long-standing close partners. We have been here ever since independence, and our relationship has grown, and I think through that also the relationship between our 2 countries and our 2 people has grown, and I'm very optimistic through also the recent very high-level engagement, the Chancellor coming to Nigeria, the President traveling to Germany. So I think we are in a good way to become even better friends and to open more avenues for interaction, for exchange, for people coming and going, for supporting each other, for investing in each other.
With this, we've come to the end of this interview with the German ambassador to Nigeria, Annette Guntel, who's spoken extensively on Nigeria-Germany bilateral relation and other areas of partnership between Germany and Nigeria. And of course, we heard from her directly that the visa challenges will be worked on, and it will be easier for people who want to go to Germany to study. The processes will be less cumbersome, like she said, and we're looking forward to having a lot of things she's talked about happen here in Nigeria and a lot of development. Thank you for watching. This is Diplomatic Corner of Premium Times. Do well to follow us on all social media platforms, from Twitter to YouTube to Facebook, Instagram. We're there, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.